is happening, everyone? What a night. Brilliant day. Good afternoon / evening / morning to you all, wherever you are watching around the world. Myself and Lee Judges are back to talk all things Arsenal. And what a day to talk about it. Whether you thought we were outstanding last night, whether you thought we were poor, we are through to the next round. For the first time in a long time, to the last 16, right the way through to now the quarterfinals. It's beautiful. It's great. It's a wonderful competition. I was gutted. It's a bit of a sore subject, but I weren't able to go last night. Adrian, who comes on here quite a lot, had my ticket and he enjoyed it and absolutely loved it. And I must say, Lee, we are now through and it is a good feeling. And before we go into players and the performance and the understanding of the night, I want to ask a question that I genuinely cannot answer because I was not there. What was it like at the Emirates, atmosphere-wise, last night?
Unbelievable. The atmosphere yesterday was unbelievable. I honestly think that our fans in that stadium yesterday played a part in that game, all through that game when they was... Listen, I think there were at times when we was nervous, you know what I mean, and doubting if we was going to get through. I'm pretty sure every fan in that ground had that feeling that maybe this ain't going to be our day. Oh, it's happening again, like when it was going to penalties and everything like that. But what happened after? It just was in this, you sort of brushed that to a side and just got on with the. Just supporting the team and all that. And the atmosphere was fantastic. At the end, I'll tell you what, I've never been to a game, right, where 20, 25 minutes after the game, right, maybe even longer than that, because I've done the interview and all that. So it could even be longer than that, Dan, like say 50 minutes, right? Arsenal station, you couldn't walk past it. You couldn't, like if you was queuing up to go, if you want to get to Finsbury Park, you had to go along with the queue to get up there. You got up to Finsbury Park, it was chocker as well, not one fan left. Like you get games when everybody,
of course,
even when it's 1-0 or 2-1 or 0-0 or 1-1, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fans that have missed the goals that Declan Rice and Jesus scored against Man United. The Bournemouth game, people leave a little bit before the game. Not knocking that. Sometimes you have to get their train. But everybody stayed to the end. I've got my mate who sits with me, Kevin, Scan, I'm going to have to get in an hotel for the night. I can't get back and travel in time. So people getting home at 1:30 in the morning and all that, that, and I'm going to say it now, even though, do you know what it was like? Oh, I've missed my train anyway, so I might as well stay at the end and see the players round and everything like that. It was just mayhem. It was absolutely mayhem at the end. Fantastic scenes in and around the ground afterwards and all that, and I've got to say the Porto fans were fantastic as well. They created an atmosphere there last night, but that was probably one of the best atmospheres that we've had. The noise levels were incredible, and there were times when the players, I think, needed it. Whether you like it or whether you're not. I know that some people don't like it when players give it all of that, but listen, a couple of the players were doing that, and it was unbelievable. But Dan, the two things, and I've never experienced this in all my times at Arsenal, and I'm being really honest about it now. I don't know if it come across on the TV and all that, when we scored a penalty, everybody was going mad. But when they were coming up for their penalties, I've never seen so much noise, booing, distractions going on. You know what I mean? And we were talking about this on the way home. Do you know when Spurs have got penalties against us, and Harry Kane's? There's never been that much noise. You know what I mean? To put off something. And
talking about when the opposition fans take the penalty.
Yeah. And I hope now that if we get a penalty against the Emirates, that we do that all the time. Everybody, it was deafening, Dan, as he was walking up. The Porto players that were walking up for all their penalties, it was deafening, the boos, the noise and everything like that, So big up to the fans last night. It was a fantastic atmosphere. And listen, I can tell you that now, that every fan, and I'm one of them, was nervous. I felt sick when those penalties were going on. I felt like I played every single minute of that game yesterday, and I'm shattered still now. So up to the fans, fantastic.
Yeah, man. Listen, it really was, man. Listen, big up Mark, become a new YouTube member. If you do want to become a member, make sure you do three things: press the like, press the subscribe, and hit join. And you can join as a member. So thank you so
Cheers,
much for
Mark.
doing that, Mark. Much appreciated, my bro. And you can do exactly the same. This super chat's going to come in now. I'm going to bring it up. Big up to Hannah. Says, big up, guys. Liverpool fan here. I hope you win the Champions League and not the Premier League. Who would be the best draw in the quarterfinals for you? Now, I was asked this question just now on a stream. My honest answer is I really don't care. But my other answer, when I put my head and thinking on it, is actually maybe I'll do a bit. And the reason is because I do want to avoid Man City. I don't want to get them next. I wouldn't really choose Real Madrid or Inter Milan, who I do think will go through tonight. But other than that, I'm pretty much all right. If I could choose, I'd go for the PSV or Dortmund winners, just because I think we can definitely do them over two legs. But whoever we get, Lee, it's going to be hard, isn't it? It's going to be hard. It's the quarterfinals of the Champions League, man.
Listen, it was hard last night, Dan. You know what I mean? Against a team that is not as good as any of the 8 teams that are going to be left in it. It just shows you. I looked at Porto yesterday, and we're talking about the performance and levels of the players and all that, but they're an experienced Champions League side. They know what to do in the Champions League and how to play it. And whether you like it or whether you don't, that's what they do. And we overcome that. For me, and this is not because I fear Manchester City. I don't, European. I want a European trip. I want to get on a plane. You know what I mean? I don't really want to go driving to Manchester for a day and back in an evening. If we get it, we get it. I'm not fearing them. Don't get me wrong. But for me, I'm with you in the case there. I think it'd be Dortmund today. I think that they beat PSV, but I do think that it's a great place to go to, Germany, and watch football. And I don't want to go to Italy, if I'll be really honest, because of look what's happened with the Brighton. It's dangerous out there. I'm going to say that now. It's dangerous. It's a lovely country when you visit it as a tourist, but when you're going there for football, it's dangerous.
Well, a Brighton fan, by the way, who got injured. I know Maz quite well. Maz comes on my channel. He's a really big Brighton fan and a top bloke. And one of his best friends, he was out there and got stabbed. And I said to him, what happened? And he said, listen, mate, he is a bloke who does not get involved in anything like that ever. I'd say to you now, yeah, he's all right, but, he's a bit of a nutter when he goes like that. He said this lad with his dad literally goes away and home to every game, and it was unprovoked attack, and he ended up getting sliced in the leg and went to hospital. I don't want any of that in Italy, mate. I don't want to be going over there. That's a football game, man. We're not in a pub brawl here. We're talking about walking along the street. So yeah, shocking. You're right about that with Italy. Absolutely.
So that's the one thing there. Another thing, quickly, just saying it, it does pee me off a little bit. And we went to Porto the other week, eye up in the sky, all netting around us, and then yesterday their fans having a lovely view that they've got there. I'm fed up with Arsenal doing that now. I really am. Arsenal should put them fans right at the top, out of the way. I really do believe that, Dan. I don't know why we give them the best thing. Speaking to a Porto fan yesterday, he said, "Can't believe there's no netting or anything like that for games." You know what I mean? Come on, we treat everybody like 5-star hotel when they come to the Emirates.
Oh yeah, it's class. That's what we are, class, and we want all the away fans to have a class experience. Well, why? It's just, you know what I mean? It's crazy. You're right, mate. You're right. Listen, to answer Hannah's question, I don't care who we get because we're in the next round. That's what I want to be. You got to beat the best in this competition if you want to win it.
If you can't get Dortmund, all right, let's put it out, because I think Dortmund and PSV is the easiest one, right? It's the obvious choice, right? They've been drawn out to Man City because that's what Man City do.
Man City will get them. I know that for a fact. If you ask me who I want, I would say Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich.
You're going to go Bayern Munich?
Yeah, Bayern Munich, because I want revenge from this 10-2, and I want to beat them and show that we have changed since the Arsenal that were last in the Champions League. And I think that's the best way to do it, is to get them. And I think we can beat them, Lee.
No, well, that's a great.
What about you?
I like that. I like that philosophy. I like that. I'm going to go along with that now. I think that Germany's a nice place, Munich's a nice place. If I be really honest, I wouldn't mind getting one of the Spanish clubs for the weather-wise. If I'll be honest, to go there in April, very nice. You know what I mean? So that would probably be the thing. But listen, I'm going to say if I've got a choice, I'd like to go Real Madrid. I'd like to beat Real Madrid and text that horrible bloke Dave. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And give him some stick, like, you know what I mean? So but there you go. That would be my preference. And of course, don't forget, you know you're going to get in the semi-final. So semi-final, it would be nice to get Bayern Munich and then knock them out. That would be nice, and get to the final. That would be good.
Yeah, man. Listen, got to beat the best if you want to be in it. Big up to Hannah for the super chat. Please get your super chat in. Much appreciated. Listen, Lee, let's talk about last night. A few individuals I want to mention because the way I saw the game, and it was probably different to yourself or similar. I don't know because you were there and I wasn't. But it was 25 minutes in, and I was worried, mate, because Porto, the game plan they put together almost worked, mate. They went for shithousery. They went for kicking us. They went for making it hard for us. I expected nothing less. 41-year-old Pepe, immense, one of the best players on the pitch. I thought, again, it's like incredible that he's doing that. And Mikel Arteta's the same age as him. Horrible player. Absolutely horrible to come up against. But always has been. Always has been. I thought he was good, and I thought so was his teammates in what they were asked to do. Weren't free-flowing. Didn't expect him to be. They knew, Lee, if they come here to us and went, let's give them a game, they would have lost. So they knew they had to do everything they could to make it hard for us. And they did. And fair play to them. That's what they wanted to try and do to get across the line. That Trossard goal, mate, and when we scored it was so important. That Erdegaard pass was magnificent, by the way. Who I thought was the best player on the pitch on the outfield. I thought I'd give it Raya man of the match because of what happened and what he did for his penalty saves. But for me, outfield, Erdegaard showed a touch of class, mate. He was outstanding. Didn't stop running. And that pass to Trossard, one of the best assists I've seen in a while, mate. Absolute inch perfect, the weight of it. Great finish, by the way, from a player who I didn't actually think was playing that well, him and Saka. I didn't think were amazing, right? But they did the business. And I said to Sam, my mate, it was, Sam from here, I said, look, Sam, if we do not score a goal in the first half, I don't think we're going to go through this tie. And I stand by that. That was such an important time to score that goal, 5 minutes before half time, roughly. Such an important part of the night. And then we go through the penalties. And, I want to mention Erdegaard and I want to mention David Raya because, David Raya, fair play, he's come onto the scene. But that really did announce himself last night as a player who people can get properly behind and fans can love. Because when you do stuff like that, fans turn and say, I love this goalkeeper now because he's just helped me through. And as for Erdegaard, a proper captain leader's performance, Lee.
Yeah, listen, let's talk about Raya first. I thought he was brilliant on the night and made a great save. Kicking and everything there was really, really good. I don't think he was man of the match, though, because he made 2 penalty saves. I'll be honest, you know what I mean? He made a good save. But we was on top for most of the game. And I get on board that he made some great catches and claims from crosses and all that. I think he had a very, very good, solid game, and I'm pleased that he did. And I think now, I still on the line that Ramsdale was a little bit harshly treated, but at the end of it, you cannot knock the decision there. I thought it was a great performance from him yesterday. Good couple of saves, as I said, and then the penalties. One magnificent save. I think the first one, I haven't seen it. It hit the post, I think.
Yeah, he did touch it onto the post. It hits his back. He did. Yeah, he touched it onto the post. And it hit his back and it went wide. I mean, it could have gone in, It was one of those, like when Jorginho against Villa, he smashed it against Emi Martin.
Yeah.
Went in. It's a bit of luck sometimes, Lee.
And that is why I say about the Champions League, to get through in this, it's a cup. You need that little bit of luck, and I think that's what you got there. I thought, I'm going to be really honest, like the two wide players, I thought Trossard and Saka were poor on the night. Saka in particular had a bad game, but I'll put a little bit of that down to their defender. I think it was Wellard. I think he was very good. I'd get him. I'll tell you what, he was. I don't know. Every time Saka got the ball, he was right onto him quickly, hassling him and give him a real good game. And
I thought they did a number on Saka and Trossard, to be fair.
Yeah, they
'cause
did. They
Trossard
did.
scored. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they had amazing games, you know, and I thought everyone else could at least walk off going, I was a warrior, I was a battler, I went for it. I thought Saka, nothing was really coming off for him again. And Trossard, likewise, unbelievable goal, by the way, but I didn't really see much of him. So, yeah, I'm with you there.
First 20 minutes, like, you know, so what's his name? Wendell, not Willard.
Wendell, yeah. I was going to correct you, but I left you to it.
No, not glad someone did. I don't know his name. You know what I mean? I can't see with a bloody without my glasses, and I'm in there like. But I was very, very impressed with him. All you clever blokes that can say his name, where's he come from? I don't even know where he come from. Let us know where he come from, like, you know. So he was particularly good on the day. I thought Trossard was awful up until he scored. Like, you know
that was the dog in EastEnders, wasn't it?
I think it was Willard was the dog in East. Well, I don't know where I got it from somewhere. It must be from there. So he's Willard from Brazil. Is that what we're saying? Like, you know, so well done, like, you know. So Wendell from Brazil. Now, listen, Brazilian there's a little bit of Brazilian flavour at Arsenal, isn't there? Like, you know what I mean? Why? I thought he was brilliant on both legs. I watched him in both games, and I think he was fantastic. So let's hope he comes to the Arsenal, and then I'll get his name right. You know what I mean? So yeah. So he was top class. I thought, like, you know, but I thought Trossard was awful in that first few minutes. But then he gets a fantastic goal, and what a fantastic finish it was. But I'm with you, Dan. What Martin Odegaard done before that, and then the pass was just incredible. Like, you know what I mean? And I thought, if I'll be really honest, he was the man of the match despite missing an open goal, which we missed a few chances. Their goalkeeper made a couple of saves. I don't know about you guys. I've just got in, so I'm gonna sit down in the next couple of hours and watch the whole game back through again. But I didn't see much wrong with the goal neither, was it? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't look like that too much of a goal to me. It was.
It actually was, to be fair. Like, I would have been annoyed if they would have given that. Havertz has grabbed hold of his shirt and pulled it back. That's what's happened.
But,
he did it when it weren't like horrendous. It weren't like, oh my god, what a disgrace of a shot. I mean, it was quality when it went in. I was going mental, but unfortunately, they did this lap. But Havertz can't get away with that.
Okay. Well, I'll have a little look at that. Like, but again, I'm going to have to say, I thought Kai Havertz was great on the day. I don't think no one was sensational on the day, but what I liked about Havertz's performance was it just. I'm going to say it now, like, he just doesn't take crap, mate. You know what I mean? I love it. Like,
Havertz, did you say? Yeah, unbelievable. He was probably putting himself about, wasn't he?
Well, putting himself about, you know what I mean? Risk of smashing into their manager and pushing him away. Yeah, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, the referee was right. He shouldn't have he wasn't even in his technical area. So in reality and all that, like, Havertz has done the right thing. Get away. What are you doing in here? Like, you know, if it was in his technical area, I would have felt that Havertz maybe got booked. But listen, you know, he put himself on the line. There was one I don't know if you see. You knew that snake Pepe was going to do him, but he knew it as well. But he still went in for the challenge, Dan. Like, you know, I felt out of the three up top, he done really, really well. I thought Declan Rice again when it mattered.
I loved it when he squared up with that lad. He grabbed it by the front. People that would have gone down like this, theatrical, and he just looked at him, pushed him back. I don't know if you saw it.
They squared up to each other, like, and weren't having it.
Weren't going to be. What he said after, which I loved. What I loved after it, and I saw it. I only saw this because it's on TV. I don't know if you saw it in the ground.
No, I haven't seen it.
He literally went up when he went up to him, and he was like, giving it like this. He went, watch yourself now. Watch it. I'm coming for you. Watch what I do to you. And I thought, fucking love that. Declan Rice, absolutely taking no crap. You know, watch. There you go. Reggie said, watch. And I thought, brilliant. He could lip read it. He looked at him and he was going mad with him in like Portuguese or whatever. And he just went, pointing at him, he went, watch. As if to say, watch yourself. Watch what I do to you next. I loved it, mate. Loved that. Brilliant. And this is what I was saying, Lee. Like, it's a nice segue onto it. We have got some warriors in this team, mate. We've got some monsters in this team.
Wow.
We have not had that for a while, right? We've not had this. You remember when you used to look in the tunnel at the Emirates, at Highbury, and you used to think Vieira, Torre, Campbell, Gilberto, oh Christ, Lauren. This don't get much better. This Henri, Bergkamp. We're getting that again now. They're not the same level in terms of Havertz in Bergkamp, right? But you got Havertz, you got Rice, you got Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Kivior. I thought was good again last night. You know, like I'm looking at it now, thinking we've actually got some monsters, man, some warriors, and they were fighting like warriors last night, man. That's what you need in this team sometimes. Bit of muscle.
100%. And I said like yesterday, and I can't really claim it for myself, but I was in the gym yesterday, and I was talking to a fella, and he said like, the difference between this season and last season is that the players now have turned from boys into men, and I thought, oh, that's a great saying that, like, and I do think that it is a little bit like that. That back four yesterday, like, are all 6 foot plus, all
Monsters.
can play, all got a little, I wouldn't say a nasty streak to them. That's the wrong word that I'm using, but they've got a little bit about them. They won't be bullied. And if you are trying to bully them or trying to be a little bit physical with them, they put you in your place. I don't know if you remember, like on Saturday, Tony tried to bully Saliba
and Gabriel.
Yeah. Gabriel doing the same on this one, like, and I thought that we handled that really, really well. As I say, I don't think there was any standout performances, but because it was very, very hard. I don't know if it come across on TV. You probably agree with it. I couldn't really get going all the time. It was always, once you got in a little bit of a momentum, it was taken away by a free kick. And I've never ever seen a player be ever stretchered off for cramp. I've never seen it in all the years I've been watching football. Actually climb onto the stretcher, get up, climb onto it, and get back on. I'm going to say this now: 41 years of age, and people are going, "Oh, you can't beat it." 41, like, he was exceptional at 41 years of age. Pep, imagine what he was like at 21, 31. Absolutely unbelievable. No wonder he's got all the medals that he's got and everything like that. I was impressed with him yesterday by watching him. Really, really impressed how good he was, and how he defends, and you've got to be at some sort of level to still be able to do it at 41. When your body's not as good as what it should be, but he manages to cut down the space and all that, like, and really not get exposed in the whole game by our trickery and pace. I tell you who did give him a problem when he came on, and that was Jesus. Jesus was a good sub for us. I think we missed him out in Porto, and that's what we need. If he's not going to be starting games, coming on for little roles like that, I thought that he done really well for us yesterday. I will say this, Dan, I don't know about you. I actually thought that we would win it in 90 minutes. I thought we looked much stronger.
But we could have.
Yeah, and probably should have. But in that last 30 minutes, I felt that we just tired a little bit. I don't know if you felt that. And it didn't, we sort of run out of options, and we sort of like got to penalties. And I didn't think we'd done enough in extra time. Maybe we could have made a couple more subs and all that. And I do think the extra day, because don't forget they didn't play they played on the Friday, we played on the Saturday night. And that game against Brentford was a difficult game. But listen, 2 massive games at the Emirates. We've got over them, Dan. That's all we can ask for. Got 2 wins out of 2. And, wow. I've not enjoyed 1 minute of it, by the way. Not enjoyed 1 minute
Isn't
of
it mad that we were like, can't wait for Saturday, can't wait for Tuesday. Now I'm glad it's over, It's been horrendous.
God,
it really has.
Buzzing for that game yesterday, right? I was absolutely buzzing.
Saturday as well, but it weren't easy, was it? We had to wait last minute for both, and that's sometimes what happens. I
was on the wine last night, Dan. I was on the wine last night, stronger than beer. I was on the wine,
Mate, it's definitely stronger, that's for sure, man. I'm going to bring some super chats up before we do our football prizes, which I'll let you get ready for. This one comes in from Mark. Big up, Mark. Excuse me. It says, in the 80s, the Premiership got banned for 3 years from Europe for violence. Why is this not happening to Italy? And I think, it's about conversation earlier we were having. Something's got to be done about this. I know it's horrible to actually say because one person done it, he spoiled it for the rest. But I don't know how else you stop cramp down on this, because it is shocking. You cannot go around stabbing people when you go to a football game. It's just absolutely madness.
It's happening all the time in Italy, Dan. It's every time you go to Italy, it's happening. And the reason they're not going to do nothing about it is it's financial. And the other thing about it, if the way it's going at the minute, Italy are going to have 5 teams in it next year. Like, you know what I mean? So they're getting rewarded for this. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. And if it doesn't stop, you know what I mean, throw them out of competition. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't only just that, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, Brighton's a club that, you know, not been into Europe before. All their fans are experiencing it. They're having lighters thrown at them, and they're having cans of drink thrown at them, and all things like that. You can't be having that in the away end. And you know, people like Julian moan about netting. Well, that's the reason there is netting, to protect you. You know what I mean? But then that means this, you know, so you've got to have netting to protect you from your fans throwing things at us and everything like that, like, you know. And then when you come over to ours, you have all the nice luxuries of grounds and all that. Like, now, come on, do us a favour, sort it out. But they won't, because it's financial gain.
Yeah. Well, Roma fans, it's not a place I'd want to go to visit. That is for sure. Not for football reasons, anyway. And this last one comes in from AO, who says, "Big up Dan and Lee. Believe me, you won't want Dortmund. They're better set up than Porto. They're fast, quick counter-attacking side. Listen, whoever we get, Lee, is going to be bloody hard. Let me tell you that now. Right?
100%.
It's going to be bloody hard.
And sometimes I agree with what he's saying there. Sometimes you think, oh, Dortmund are you know, because they're not as glamorous as, I say, a Real Madrid, but, like, you know, they could be better than Real Madrid. Like, you know, I don't know. Dortmund, listen, people turn around and go, well, we take Dortmund because they're not doing great in Germany and whatever. People might have thought that about having Chelsea a few years ago when they was 8th or 6th in the Premier League and they go on and win it. Don't take no one lightly in this competition now. Whoever you got is going to be top. It's going to be a tough game, like, you know. But, you know, I heard someone turn around to me and say, "Oh, Real Madrid not Real Madrid. Bayern Munich are vulnerable at the moment," which they are, but they're still second in the league and a lot further.
Since Tuchel said he's going, they ain't lost.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. So it's a strange one, like, you know. And listen, Porto, that was a tough nut to crack. Yes, I don't care what anybody says. Difficult. You know. So Russ, you know, like Gunnar Russ made a very, very good point yesterday. He goes, maybe we need a team that's going to come and play football with us toe to toe. That might be a better solution than, say, a team that's going to sit back and defend and put all those tactics in there. So it's a good point. You know what I mean? So, you know, if a team's going to come and play against us, we know we're going to have a decent game.
Absolutely. One of the comments of the day for me, Kai says, the best 8 teams in the world now. There's no easy games left. 100%. There is 100%. Absolutely no easy 100%. Game left.
I'll tell you what, though, Ben, I've got to talk about, because someone just put it in the chat, which reminded me yesterday. And it's such an important thing. We've got to have a decent referee when we play these teams. That ref yesterday was awful. I've not seen a worse performance of refereeing from that, like, you know. I just thought he was shocking.
Like Trossard, didn't he? Everyone said, "Is that Trossard?"
He didn't look like Trossard. Looked like Trossard's dad, like, you know what I mean? Certainly weren't, though, because he never give us nothing. No. I thought he was weak. You know, disappointed with the standard of refereeing, even in the Champions League now. Like, you know, I thought it was bad in the Premier League, and I thought, like, we might get a slight improvement in the Champions League. But this is why I'm saying that maybe, like, you know, the referees are just standards is just drops too much, like, you know.
Yeah, facts, man. This one comes in again from Hannah. Bless you. Thank you so much, darling. Says Hannah can beat, Arsenal can beat City, and the others, I reckon, it's just Real Madrid. They know how to get it done. Listen, in the last 10 years, they've won 5.
Yeah.
So, yes, they know how to get it done. They're not the ones that I do want. I know you said you would, Lee, but I personally would rather have Barcelona and Bayern Munich than Man City or Real Madrid. I would. I'd rather take Bayern or Barca. I think over 2 legs as well, we've had some bad times against them. And I know people should say forgive and forget. Don't worry about revenge. Nah, man. I want to beat Barcelona and Bayern Munich, because that, to me, shows that Arsenal have got past the weakness of the last few years where we did use 10-2 against them. I was there at the new camp when Van Persie got sent off for kicking the ball away. Yeah, I want all that to be forgotten by beating teams like that now, and realising that actually we don't have to rely on that anymore. We can beat teams like that. Barcelona and Bayern Munich are beatable, mate. So if we get them, I'm not going to go, oh, no, it's not what I want. And I would have done that when they had Messi. I mean, Bayern Munich had some of the best players. Of course I would have. But right now, I think they're beatable, man. So I'm with Hannah. I would not want Real Madrid or Man City in the next round. They're the only two I'd like to avoid. If we get them, we get them. Man City more than one reason. One, because they're quality, but two, because, like you say, it's not a trip, is it? You go up to Manchester again. So
Nah,
I think, if I get Man City, I'll tell you this now, I want them in the final at Wembley. That's where I want them.
I'll tell you, I want to avoid, Dan. I've just realised, there's old Bear there, the Liverpool fan in there, saying, mocking us a little bit, like, I hope we avoid Liverpool in the final 8. I hope we avoid them.
I can't see where Bear is.
No, Bear is there. Arsenal ain't winning nothing, but I'll tell you what, Bear, I hope we avoid Liverpool in the final 8.
I love that. I love that. This one comes in from Sarah. Sarah, thank you, darling. Hope you're well. Excuse me. Says, great game, lads. Had to change my minds on Raya, but Phil Ramsdale was treated harshly. P.S. Did Trossard bring his brother to work? Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I looked at it and I thought, that referee's Trossard, isn't it? Like, it's crazy how much they look like each other. But listen, I'm with you with the Raya and Ramsdale thing. That's been put to bed. Do you know what I love, though? When we won the penalties, Ramsdale come running over and hugged him. Oh, that's quality. That shows class, shows he's a team player, and shows that he's well in for it. Has Bear gone quiet, is he, or is he back?
Yeah, I'm sorry, because Hannah's got offended by that, but Hannah, it wasn't at you, like, you know what I mean? I've got no problems with Liverpool. Listen, I will say this, taking Bear out of the equation, like, he might mock the Arsenal and whatever, like, if Arsenal can't win the Premier League, I'd sincerely hope that Liverpool do, like, and that's
I'm the same as you.
That's how I feel, like,
Honestly, I'm exactly the same. Big up to Hannah as well. Obviously, Bears having some banner, but I must say, I honestly do want Liverpool to win the league if Arsenal don't. I don't want Man City doing it.
And I've said that. And listen, you can Bears come back with his 6 European Cups. Yeah, that's well done. Like, I'll say. I'm glad you got the 6th one, because that was it the 5th one or the 6th one was against Spurs. So, and I always thank Liverpool for that. Like,
100%.
I do not forget. But don't be coming on here giving it large about the Champions League when you're not even in it. That's all I'm saying.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Listen, I'm going to ask you a little bit about the subs in a minute. I'm going to ask you a little bit about some performances and what this means for us. Now we have a 19-day break until we play Man City. But before we do that, Football Prizes is back.
Yes.
Football Prizes is back. And this time, I must say, I've seen the image and it is an exciting one, mate.
Well, yeah, it's just, I've got to say, we just keep getting exciting ones all the time. And when old Jack messages me with what we got, I think to myself, like, well, who are you gonna bring up this time, like, And well, he's brought up what I think the Rolls Royce of the Arsenal team at the moment. Another fantastic game there. Huge competition this time. It's William Saliba, signed custom LED framed Arsenal shirt. Now, also with this is plus 19 instant prizes for a $3.95, guys. And when you look at this is what you can win. Now, I know you'd like this one, Dan, right? Because I know you don't know about this because you've not read the sheet. Kieran Tierney, signed framed Arsenal shirt.
Right. Big up Kieran Tierney.
Clearing up Kieran Tierney. Tony Adams signed shirt.
Oh.
Steve Bold signed shirt. A signed shirt of my favourite, Ben White. I think, I'd love a signed shirt. And also Shinchenko. So it's all about the defence at the moment with Football Prizes. And rightly so, because at this moment in time, we've got one of the best defences in the league. And they proved it again yesterday with that clean sheet. Fantastic. So, yeah, the Rolls Royce of Arsenal. Well, I would put him down as the Rolls Royce Saliba. I think he's definitely up there, like, And do you remember he was in the stands when we went to Watford was it 3 years ago now, Dan, or something like that?
Yeah.
He was actually in the away end. And that is unbelievable that and now look how well he has progressed and how good a player he is, like, But so look, for $3.95, less than a £4, you can get your chance not only to win Saliba but all those other players as well, like, So get on it, get on the Football Prizes. They do some great things. Also, if you don't, follow them on Instagram and socials, because they do some fantastic quizzes on there as well, like everything like that. So they're worth a little follower on there as well, like, you know, and Jack, by the way, is a big Leeds fan, but a nice Leeds fan, like, you know. So
He is. He is a good lad. I do know Jack, and he's a great lad. Make sure you do that, people. Football prizes over at the Saliba shirt. Make sure you get your ticket it's not even £4. You got to get yourself involved. So make sure that you do that, mate. Listen, judges, I got to ask you, man, because I don't want this to be a negative stream because it shouldn't be. But I do have concerns about some of the things that I saw, and it weren't a lot, if I'm honest with you. Those substitutions. What the hell was going on there? Now, I thought Jesus was good when he come on.
yes,
Zinchenko was absolutely embarrassingly bad. He gave the ball. First thing he did was kick it out for a corner and miscontrol it. Next thing he was pass it to their player. And then he got the ball, took it past one, passed it back to their player. I was thinking, what is he doing, this guy? It's like he ain't played about a year. Terrible. Eddie Nketiah, what the hell was he doing bringing him on for? He's ain't kicked a ball for weeks. Smith Rowe should have been brought on ahead of him, or even Nelson, or even Vieira. At least they've kicked the ball. Jesus Christ. Eddie come on. He actually controlled the ball and fell over. That was how bad he was when he come on. It was shocking. We mentioned Saka's performance, which weren't great. And obviously Trossard, we mentioned, got the goal, but weren't exactly effective other than that. There were some bad performances. Listen, we shouldn't be going into it too much. But I got kind of a bit like down about the bench, which is now looking stronger, that was brought on and made us look a bit weaker. Or is that harsh, judges? What do you think?
Listen, Jesus I think made a difference when he come on, like, you know. I will say this. Do you know what? This is a funny thing. We was walking down to the game, and all of us were saying, like, you know, Eddie's not had a look in the last few weeks, like, you know, and like, you know, he's fourth in the pecking order now. Like, you know, ain't going to get nowhere near. I don't think he's, you know, like, got much chance of getting any minutes for Arsenal at this moment in time, unless we're winning really comfortably. And there we are at 1-0, need a goal, and he puts Eddie on. So I was surprised by it, but in a way, you have to admire it. That, you know, that's backing for you. But, you know, listen, I think it was always hard to contribute in a game like that. And it's such a tight game and everything like that. So, you know, Zinchenko done some good things as well as some bad things. There was a couple of things that he done well, but like, as you say, like that, I don't know if they showed you on TV, but when he gave away that corner, Gerard there was going mad. You know what I mean? Like, just clear your lines. But listen, I think that at the minute, Kivier's doing a fantastic job, and there's no real rush to get Zinchenko back in the team. But I think he contributed to the win against Brentford by coming on and giving us something different. But again, I say this now, Porto, a different kettle of fish, and it was a very, very difficult game for them two to get involved. I have to look at that and think to myself, you know, that was a bit strange, those substitutions, particularly when you could, like, bring on a Nelson who had done very, very well the other day. You could have kept Jesus down the middle, but he obviously felt something on the left-hand side. I don't know. I look at it and you know, I do get it. You know, a couple of people saying, Saka should come off. And you think, well, you can't really take him off because he might do something, like, you know. And, you know, the end of it, they were a couple of dodgy substitutions, I'm not going to lie, Dan, but we got the result. So at the end of it, you look at it and think, well, okay, you know, we let it go from there. But, yeah. Very, very strange couple of substitutions. But at the end of the day, we got through.
I mean, if Jesus comes on, that's absolutely fine. But bring on Smith Rowe, put Jesus through the middle and Smith Rowe on the left. Eddie and Nketiah.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know why they've done that. Like, you know what I mean? I would have probably looked to Smith Rowe, even Nelson before Eddie. I really do.
Weird.
But I think he wanted to keep Havertz down there because, do you know what? Because I think it wasn't the game for the purist. I think it was one of those games where you put yourself about, make things awkward, and maybe he felt that Eddie was more to do that than, say, Jesus, if you know what I mean. Like, he was a bit more of a battling ram. I don't really know. All I know is that by the end of it, I bet he saw today Havertz because he put himself body on the line. And maybe that's what Eddie went out there to do, really. That's the only reason.
Tony's putting there, like, we were thinking about bringing on penalty takers. But I don't know, I thought Jesus would have taken the number 5. And I understand if it goes past 5, Eddie's there to take it. But I don't know, maybe it was that. You know,
who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
And it's one of those. Listen, we've got away with it. I will say this though, Lee. Neutral fans, we've got quite a lot of them in the chat tonight as well. I can see Kevin is clearly not an Arsenal fan in the chat. But
What's he saying? What's he saying?
For about an hour now, it's quite funny. Not just to me and you, just to Arsenal fans in general, talking about how Saliba's not good enough, Saka's shocking, it's embarrassing, get him in the bin and all that. Everyone's giving him a lot of stick, sort of thing. I think Kevin is a Chelsea fan, which is actually quite funny, really. But there we go.
Oh, well, that's all right, Kevin. Come on. At the end of the day, you'd like to have, if you are a Chelsea fan, you'd love to have Saliba, you'd like to have Saka, and I'll tell you what, the way things are, you'd love to have Eddie.
I'll tell you who else they quite like, Kai Havertz.
Yeah, or Jorginho. I'll tell you what, he'd do a fantastic job in your midfield at the moment.
Yeah, honestly, it's hilarious.
I'll tell you what, let's talk about Jorginho a second. I'm not
go on.
I'm not what will you say? I weren't like when I see the signing. It's not one of those signings that gets you excited, but I think he's been an absolute fantastic signing for us. For what he is, 12 million for a couple of years is. I love watching him play. Because he ain't the quickest, he ain't the powerfulest, but my God, he knows how to keep a football and keep rotating the football and keep it moving on and everything like that fantastically well. But I also think his experience and his know-how is very, very important to us, Dan. Very, very important to us.
Yeah. Listen, I think he's been a £10 million signing that we can look at now and go, do you know what? That was worth it. To be fair, he's come in and then he's done a job, hasn't he? And that's exactly what we signed him for. To be honest, he was never going to take us to a Premier League title alone. He was always going to be behind the likes of Thomas Partey, etc. And that's what he's done, man. Listen, I've got to say, neutral fans, we couldn't have won yesterday. We could as fans because we went through, so we won in our eyes, but we can't in their eyes. I'll tell you why. Oh my God, Arsenal couldn't beat Porto. That's an embarrassment. They've just gone back in the Champions League after all this time, and now they've lost Porto. And then we do beat them. Bloody hell, it's only on penalties. Well, I'm getting through the next time. They're awful, absolutely dreadful team. Worst team in it. Oh, Jamie O'Hara's on there, Jason Candy. Big up to Jason Candy, by the way, because he's given us his flowers, and said, look, I think they've got a good chance in Champions League of beating Man City. The only team in it I see that can give them a good game, blah, blah, blah. Jamie O'Hara, well, they're the worst team in the Champions League last 16 for me. Last 16. Worst team in the quarterfinals as well, he says. Arsenal. He's a Spurs fan. I mean, he would know all about being the worst team, wouldn't he? As a Spurs fan.
He's an expert at that, isn't he? You know what I mean? So, and the other thing is, look, before like Liverpool fans and all that, like saying, you've only just got through against whatever. Like, I remember it took a Steven Gerrard wonder goal against Olympiacos.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Otherwise, they was going out in the group stage.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they didn't. They got the job done, and that's what matters. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that matters is you get through. Don't care who it's against or whatever. And if you look at Chelsea, I bet they've struggled against somebody before going on and being successful, like every team. So I don't care. I don't care how we done it. We done it. I remember Chelsea. They was absolutely battered by Bayern Munich in the cut, and Drogba gets a header and they go on and win on penalties, So that's how it is. Manchester United outclassed by Bayern Munich in the 1999 Champions League final. Get 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. Does not matter. You get there and you get it done, and that's it. We got it done. I don't care, Dan. I don't care. When I see that draw tomorrow, he ain't going to have Arsenal struggled against Porto and got through on penalties. It's not going to say that. It's just going to say Arsenal. And do you know what? We're there. That's what matters.
Facts. Absolute facts, man. It really is funny. And I was asked this question yesterday and today on 2 neutral shows I went on. I don't know what it is about it. Now, this is coming from myself, who's not convinced that this process is going to end in us lifting loads and loads of trophies. We've got to do it first, right? And we've still got to prove that we can do it. But I don't quite understand why it is a crime to say that Arsenal are doing well at the moment. Because there are so many neutral. Now, I'm not, an LB said it to me yesterday. Oh, why do you care? What do you want people to do? Start sucking up to you saying how amazing you are. No, I don't want that. I just don't understand why people scoff when you say, Arsenal are looking good, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? It's like a crime to say that. Or Havertz. You always so this is what happens, Lee, right? With neutral fans. You'll say, Arsenal looking good at the moment. Yeah, they ain't gonna win anything though. All right, calm down. Only still be playing well at the moment. Christ. Let's calm down. I'll tell you who's playing quite well at the moment. It's really surprised me. Kai Havertz. Yeah, but he's not 65 million. He's deluded. All right, calm down a minute. I only said he's playing well in the last few games. He scored a few goals. It is absolute extreme. And do you know why
No,
it is? I've worked out why it is. We rattle fan bases so much. We Arsenal fans rattle the neutral fan base more than anyone.
I don't know why. You know what I mean? I
Don't know
don't care.
why. We don't won a bloody league for 20 years and we're rattling people. What's going on?
You know, listen, I don't care about rattling other people and all that. Do you know what, then? I don't care about Liverpool fans. I don't care about West Ham fans. I don't care about Spurs fans and all that. Like, all I care about is my club. We're doing well and I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, you know, looking forward to Friday's draw now. Like, you know what I mean? Looking at the other day, like now, well, we've got Aston Villa in between those two quarterfinals now. That's going to be tough. Like, plot how we're going to do that, where we're going to go, what we're going to do. It's fantastic, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and listen, really, you know what I mean? Like, are Arsenal fans unbearable just as much as Tottenham fans or Liverpool fans and everything like that?
We've got a section of it in our fan base and in every single other fan
Every
base.
fan base
Yeah,
is like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? But listen, I'm going to be really honest. Out of the teams that I'm going to say it now, Liverpool. Yeah, I don't like Liverpool because, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I respect them. I don't like Man United, but I respect them. I don't like
100%.
Spurs, but I respect them as a football club. I respect West Ham as a football club. The two clubs that I don't respect are the two clubs that are Manchester City and Chelsea because they've not done it the way I think that it should be done. That's it. Liverpool have had to sell for Liverpool to go and buy Van Dijk and Alisson and spend a lot of big money on them. They had to sell Coutinho, one of their favourite players. They've had to sell players. Arsenal have had to sell players. Tottenham have to sell players to get things and all that. Like, you know what I mean? You know, like Chelsea and Man City sell their souls. That's all they've done.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I quite agree, to be fair. Listen, let's talk about our 19-day break that we've got, which is a weird thing to talk about, but I'm gonna talk about it for a reason. I want to ask you a question that a lot of people have been asking me over the last few days about Champions League and Premier League, and it's not what one do we want to win. People have asked me, Lee, do you want to go out the champ? No, okay, this is a weird thing to say. Do you want to, if we go out the Champions League, does it make it easier for us to win the Premier League? Is the question I was asked, right? Now, the reason I said no this time, and most people would probably think, right, go out of the Champions League is a massive, massive disappointment. But you know what? Now we've only got one game a week to worry about. We've done that and it didn't matter, Lee. Yeah, we've done that bigger fish to fry rubbish and we won nothing. So personally, right, I look at it and I think stay in that Champions League, yeah, and as long as we've got the momentum of playing football every few days, I think it'll do us good because we've got a fully fit squad now. We've got no excuses. There's only Timber to come back. Everyone else, apart from Martinelli, who's not long term, is pretty much there, right? So I think the longer we stay in that competition, the more it will actually benefit us because a lot of people have said, get out of it, don't matter, bigger fish to fry, all that malarkey. Did us no good last year. And for me, when you win a game of football, you then got another couple of games. Imagine now we lost to Porto last night. We got to wait 19 games to try and win again, and it's against Man City. That'd be horrendous. And that would be regular if we were out of only one competition. So I think we've got to try and do both competitions here now as best we can all the way and stay in it till the end, Lee.
Yeah, and listen, why I feel it's different this year, and I'll be honest, is because it's the Champions League, not the Europa League. The Europa League, you know, like let's get this right. Premier League or Europa League? What one are you going to go? What's the, you know? Come on, there's a big gap. Champions League, Premier League, there's not a lot of a gap on it, and that's why I think it's important that we went through this. I think it's very, very important that we won last night because, and also for that, because I've listened to what a lot of other people have said, and a lot of players and fans and all that, like, and a couple of ex-players have said it. What would you rather be doing, Dan? playing on a Saturday, then training all week, and then playing on the Sunday, or playing on a Saturday, resting up, playing a massive game on the Wednesday, and then resting up and playing again.
Yeah.
It's obvious. And momentum's a massive thing, like, you know what I mean? Like when we played, I don't know, we played Liverpool, we had to wait another week before we played West Ham. So it's on your mind and all that, like, you know. Imagine if you've got a cup game in between that. Get it out. You think, wasn't it great that we played on Saturday, and then 2 days later we're playing yesterday? How do you feel? I feel so much like this. It's brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I think it was so important that we won last night for the good of trying to win the league. Because let's be honest, we ain't got a game Saturday or Sunday. Liverpool have, Man City have, and they're not bothered about it. You know what I mean? So I do think that, you know, we need to stay in this competition, like, you know, and I think it's a good thing. I really do think that it's a good thing.
Honestly, I'm the same. I'm the same. And, you know, momentum is absolutely key. One thing that isn't good, though, is that there's over 700 people in here and there's only 187 likes.
Yeah, I'll get that over 200. Come on,
man. All you got to do is hit the like button, people, and please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 40K. We're around 37,000 and something. So let's make sure that we can get up to 40K, please. Hit the like button and subscribe. Listen, Judge, we have got 19 days, but when we do go back, it is an unbelievable game against Manchester City. Do you think whoever loses that game is out of the title race?
No.
Go on.
I don't think they're going to be out of the title race, but it's going to, because, you know, like I was talking about this yesterday at half time, you know what I mean? Like, for Arsenal to win the league right now, and it's not guaranteed, by the way, they've got to win 10 games on the spin. Yeah? They've got to win 10 games. That, in all of a sudden, is 18 games without dropping a point. 18 games. That's a lot, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, you think like,
I don't know what the record is, but it must be close to that.
Close to it. You've got to win 18 games on the spin. So I don't know if you're going to do that.
Like, I know what the record is. That's a stupid thing. It's us.
Yeah, no, we've got unbeaten, but I don't know about how many consecutive wins it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Now, I do believe that if Arsenal lose to Man City, Arsenal won't win the league. Right?
Yeah.
I believe if we beat Man City, I still feel they've got a chance.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I think if we beat Man City, I think that we can't rule them out just because of who they are. I think if they beat us, I think that could knock us for 6. The only thing is, this is different. And I'll tell you why. Because we've got 2 teams. This ain't Arsenal, Man City going for it. We've got Liverpool. And I don't know about you. Liverpool got some very hard games. Don't get me wrong. Right? Every game is hard. But they're hard games. I still see them winning. Because Aston Villa away, they ain't playing well enough, Villa, for me to have confidence that they'll beat or take something off of Liverpool. West Ham away, they ain't playing well enough to think that they'll take something off Liverpool. Man United away, I know it's a derby, but they ain't playing well enough for me to think that Liverpool takes something off of them. And then obviously you've got the Merseyside derby, Everton. They're a terrible side on the ball. Off the ball, they're all right, but on the ball, they're terrible. I don't see Liverpool losing many of them games, mate. And I honestly don't. Like, I look now and I think, I would actually look at their fixtures and go, where are they going to drop points then, Liverpool? Like, honestly, it's hard for me to see it. And Man City and Arsenal have actually got some tough places. Like, we've both got to go to Spurs away. We've got to play, both of us obviously got to play each other. We've got to play Brighton. Wolves away is going to be hard as well. The way they're playing at the moment is a tough one for Arsenal. Villa at home, you know, everyone thinks our home games are a walk in the park. They're not. Villa is a good side. So, I don't know. I think there's going to be some massive games here. Old Trafford is not an easy place to go for Arsenal. We have proven that. We won once there since 2006 when we last won. Other than that, it was the COVID year. So, we have not had a good time there. So, this is a long way to go. And you might be right by saying that whoever loses, it ain't over, because it's minimal points we're talking about still. But I just look at what Liverpool are doing and the other teams are doing. Like, they've got 3 very good sides here, mate. And if we lose a game, it's massive. It feels like you lost the title already if you lose a game. That's how close it is. It's madly.
It is mad there. I see that Bear put up that Liverpool got Man United, which is never easy. I don't know where that is. Is that at Old Trafford or is that at
Trafford,
Liverpool?
yeah.
So that's never easy. That's never an easy game for them. Like, I tell you, who's not going to be an easy game. Chelsea now, like, you know what I mean. Chelsea has started to look a little bit better, like, you know. But is any game easy? Now,
No,
I don't think there is. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Liverpool, you would said on paper would have beaten Nottingham Forest, but you know, which they did. But it was a tough game. So, listen, for them, I think it's if I believe it is at Everton, isn't it? Like the Merseyside derby. Harder for Liverpool than any other team to go to there and get a result because it's a local derby. Spurs, I think, will have a big say in this competition when they've got, I think their 3 games are Manchester City and Tottenham. I think Tottenham got Manchester City at home, Arsenal at home, Liverpool away in successive spell. They're going for the Champions League, you know what I mean? Like, which 4th place looks like is going to be, well, you're guaranteed. 5th's not. So they're going to be wanting to be up for it. Listen, I want Spurs in and around it now. Do you imagine if Spurs weren't in for anything now? Just imagine Spurs were not in for anything now. Like, you know what I mean? You know, they can't afford to just say, oh, we'll let Man City win, oh, we'll let Liverpool win, we'll give everything.
Well, Hannah's put a super chat in about that. You know, Spurs have got a big say on this title race for sure. So, lads, me again, Spurs might dictate the title. Arsenal and City at home, Liverpool at home. And I must say, like, Spurs, it's been hard for City at that ground. City have only just beaten them this season in the FA Cup. They haven't beaten them in that ground yet. It's mad what they do against this team. Yeah. And I'll tell you this now. You mentioned about Everton at Goodison Park. What are Tottenham going to be like against us at their place? It's going to be horrible.
Well, you know what it's going to be like. It's going to be tough. And not being horrible, if the way the form goes at the moment, the games are going to go there, there's more pressure on us than them. You know what I mean? If they lose, it ain't the end of the world. But for us, it is. So the pressure, like, you know. So it's the same. Liverpool, you know, got to go and play Spurs at home. Now, Spurs, I think, are a very, very difficult opponent away from home. When you look at it away from home, they've got draws against us and they've got draws against Manchester City. They can go up to Liverpool and get a draw. And I think on the last couple of occasions, do you remember last season they went up there and got a was it a draw or something? They got, you know, unbelievably well. I think they were looking to get the Champions League, and you think, oh, well, they've gone.
Anfield, yeah, it was 1-1, wasn't it?
Went and done it, like, you know what I mean. So, listen, there's no easy games. Brentford down at the bottom half of the table, 1-0 against Man City, 2-1 against us. So I hear what everybody's saying about it and all that, but you know, for me, there's no easy games in the Premier League. No easy games. And when there's a little bit more pressure on Liverpool, which there will be, and Arsenal and Manchester City now going into these games, but listen, it's a funny thing. We play each other. I don't know who Liverpool got that day. Remind me who they got, but there'd be
what day?
When we come back to the Premier League. So
Brighton at home.
They got Brighton at home. All of a sudden, that game is a lot harder than what it was, because they know that the next day is that, like it was with us with Brentford. I'm expecting them to get through, but that'd be a tough game, because psychologically it's a tough game. You know, if Brighton gets something at Liverpool, they'd be kicking themselves, Liverpool, knowing that us two kick off the next day, knowing that if we can get even a draw would suit both teams. So, listen, you know, all of a sudden, you know, we're at a stage now where Liverpool fans are and Man City fans and us as fans are cheering on every other team. You know what I mean? We're all going to become Brighton fans for a day, like, you know what I mean? Then the next day when we're playing, I don't know, the Man City versus us, all the Liverpool fans will be praying like we was last week that it's a draw. The following week when we play Aston Villa, they'll be Villa fans, you know what I mean? And so. And dare I say, I'm not saying that we're going to be Spurs fans, but when Spurs are going to Liverpool, we're wanting Spurs not to lose. Dan, you know what I mean? We're for the whole season, you know, I mean, you're dying for them to lose games. But when Spurs play Man City as well, we'd be wanting Spurs not to lose. Can't say any other way.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I'm going to see us out with this question, and it ain't going to be a very pleasant one, mate. But I'm going to ask anyway, so I think it'll be a tasty one. As things stand, Lee, what trophy will Arsenal come closer to winning or win? The Premier League or the Champions League, do you think?
That's a tough
Horrible, isn't it?
I think, you know, with 10 games to go with the Premier League, it's 10 game Premier League season now. I think we're closer to winning the Premier League than we've ever been. Yeah, I'm going to say
we've got 10 Premier League games or 5 Champions League games. Win 5 games and we won the Champions League. Win
more than 5.
10 games.
How many games is it? 6 games.
5. Is there? We got 2 again. 2 in the quarters, 2 in the semis, 1 in the final.
1 in the final. Yeah, so it is 5, isn't it?
So there's 5 games in the Champions League to win, and we won it. Or there's, let's say, 8 or 9 games we got to win in the Premier League. I think we can drop 1 game. That's it. What's easier? It's a massive question. Like, it's hard because Champions League.
I don't know. It's impossible.
Quality's better, isn't it? I'll tell you what I think. I think we will get closer in the Premier League. I think we will. I just don't see this Champions League. A lot of people are saying, I think you can ride your luck, Theo, in the Champions League.
I think Arsenal, Dan, if we're going to win the Premier League, and you might think I'm being arrogant here or whatever, I think we've got to go to City next game and beat them.
And win. Yeah.
I really do. I think that I think that we do. If you look at when we was going for our first title, when Manchester United were dominant, we went to Anfield and we won. When Liverpool were at their pomp and we was going at them, we went to there and won. On both occasions in 89 and 91, when we were going at Liverpool, we beat them to win the league. I think that if you look at Leicester, when it mattered, they went to Manchester City and won. Chelsea, do you remember when Chelsea had that season? Went to the Etihad and won. I think you've got to take out your rivals. When Liverpool won the title and were going well, they'd come to the Emirates and win. Manchester City would come to the Emirates and win. Manchester United would come to the Emirates and win. Chelsea would come to the Emirates and win. You've got to go and beat them.
I agree. I said it to Robbie the other day. I think it's got to be an Overmars and Sylvain Wiltord type moment. I really do. At the Etihad, I think if we win, we will look back and we'll go, cool, that was it. That was the one. Because that boost of confidence that we would have around that side, beating them at the Etihad, that would be just phenomenal, you know. And I think a draw, people will go, that's not a bad result. Yeah, correct. It's not. But I don't think that's going to change the needle at all on what Arsenal are going to do in the league if we draw at the Etihad. I really don't, you know, because we let Liverpool jump us again by a couple of points, and that's enough then to look, well, yeah, be a couple of points when that's enough then to then give them the momentum. It's so tight, man. It is so tight. It really is. But this is what we wanted, mate. This is what we've been playing for.
We've been wanting for years. And enjoy it.
Absolutely,
even though I didn't enjoy yesterday, but there you go.
Well, no, it's hard to enjoy sometimes, but it's that tight. But, you know, it's one of those. Listen, we're going to leave it there, people. Absolute legends. So many of you watching tonight. Well over 700 of you at one stage. That's amazing, people. Thank you so much. Please make sure that you hit a like on this. What are we on like-wise? We've got 700 in here. Should have 300, surely. Just short. Let's get out to 300 people. We're at 265. Let's make sure we hit the likes, please, because that means so much to the channel. And it's free. Subscribe to the channel, which is also free. Those two things mean absolutely the world to us, and they don't cost you a penny. So please make sure that you can do that. And Lee, I'll let you see us out, mate.
Yeah, listen, thanks for everybody in the chat and all the super chats and everything like that. Obviously, now we ain't got a game for a little while. Don't even know what Arsenal are doing. That's the one question that I would throw at Mikel Arteta. What are Arsenal doing for the next 3 or 4 days? You know what I mean? What is the schedule over the next sort of 19 days? What are we doing? We don't know. I'd like to know. But listen, Arsenal are through. Enjoy the draw if you're an Arsenal fan. On Friday, 11 o'clock, we are in the last 8 people, and also we go into the international break, top of the league. Have a lovely day.